Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is Chris, the founding member and head of social media marketing at ClickUp. Hello.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you on the podcast. It's a pleasure. At first, for anybody that doesn't know yet, what is ClickUp?
Yeah, so ClickUp is project management software. So in the morning, you probably wake up and you check your email, you check your calendar, you check your task, probably have some docs somewhere, goals, all the above. We put everything in one place, make it very easy to use. So that's our product, and our tagline is one app to replace them all. And that's why we have so many different features packed into ClickUp.
I love that tagline. I love to know the top 3 most used features by our customers.
Yeah. I mean, we have a ton of different features. I think one of the main ones that really sets us apart is our automations. I think we do a really good job of that. Secondly, I think it's the ability to have a bird's eye view. You know, in project management, everyone can see a few things and everyone has some reporting, but at ClickUp, you can really zoom out. So if you are the CEO, and we built it this way on purpose, because a lot of times people use too many different tools, it's hard to actually see what's going on. But in ClickUp, you can actually zoom out and you can see everything that everyone's working on. That's a huge advantage of ours. Lastly, I think it's something we have coming out with our 3.0, so to be out in like 2 weeks, is Inbox. I think we've really reimagined the way that people have their tasks come in and look. So we have Inbox where you have, all your notifications coming in. Also Home. We're kind of changing the way your home screen looks. You can customize it. You can look at your most recent task or what's coming up, your calendar. So I think really having a cool place to see all of your work, have a finger on the pulse of everything. That's my favorite features.
Nice. Great sharing. And I love to know who can use ClickUp? What are the common use cases and what teams typically use your product?
Yeah. The beauty of ClickUp is that it can scale up or scale down. So, everyone always asks me like, who's your target? And obviously we have targets, right? I want to talk to people who are in operations at big companies, but also, if you're just a regular person home, building your grocery list, you can do that in ClickUp. We have a me mode. You can make ClickUp as simple or as complex as you want. Everything we have is a click app. So if you want to turn on these more complex features, you're welcome to do so. But if you also want to turn them off and just make it look like more basic and more easy to navigate, we can do that too. So very flexible tool. Anyone can use ClickUp, and I want everyone to.
That's awesome. A great vision. And I love to know the pricing. How does it work?
Yeah, pricing is, we have a free forever, of course. Then we also have we have our unlimited package, and that works for most people. Unlimited is around like $7 a month. Then we have our business package. That's like your step above, a little stronger. You're getting to a larger size company. Then you have enterprise. Enterprise, you contact us. It can range depending on what all you need, but pretty customizable there as well. But our cost is very, very competitive in the market, especially for all the features we have. In a time like today, I think that's one of our biggest advantages is that everyone's looking to be as smart as they can with cost. And we have a lot of things. We have whiteboards. So rather than to go pay, we have docs, we have whiteboards. So rather than to pay for all these different tools and switch in and out of them, we have them. And we're newer to market, right? We've been here 6 years. So some of these features we still will continue to improve on. Our goal is to get them out and then make them better and better and better over time. Just got to decide where we put our development work every single month.
And people can use just one app to manage everything.
Of course, that's the big goal.
And now I'd love to know how competitive is your space, the project management software category, and also how do you differentiate?
I would say, obviously I'm biased, but I would say project management has to be one of the number one, if not number one, most competitive space, because everyone is fighting for people's time at work, and every business needs a tool for work. So it's extremely competitive. Everyone's kind of not copying, but you can just change code a little bit different. So anything you make, you have to understand that no matter how innovative you are, which we always feel like we've been very innovative in this space, people can take wins. So I think this space is extremely competitive just because we're all choosing a lane and then building towards something, right? And so we have to decide what is that best thing? What is best for our customers? What is going to make them more productive at the end of the day? That's what matters. What I think makes us stand out, one is customability. We spoke about it earlier, but ClickUp is extremely customizable. Whereas certain tools will make you work a certain way, we're not like that. You can change, you can adapt. Let's say that you like to work, your way on a board view. Maybe I want to work in a list view.
Yes.
You can change all your different views. You can set up everything differently. And no matter what, no matter which way you choose to work, it still looks the same. So I think that's really our big differentiator. Secondly, is that we will just continue coding and building everything. We're also getting aggressive in the market to buy other tools that add to our stack, because we're not going to stop. I mean, we made this mission a long time ago, and we're sticking to it. We will keep building apps. We will keep continuing to add new features until we feel like we've perfected the workflow for everyone.
That's awesome. I love it. And I love to know the founding story of ClickUp, if you can share with us.
Absolutely. So yeah, I was one of the original four. The way it worked was, I'd met Zeb, our CEO, in college, and I knew the guy was a genius right off the bat. He is extremely intelligent. He understands things differently. He's the guy you want to really get behind if you're going to go try to do something this big. I had worked at a company called Cvent, event management software.
Yes.
So I had learned the space, and we had worked together in college. We managed a wrapper to start, and then from there he really started his social media agency, and I was always helping in the background, but I'd also graduated a year prior, and I wanted to go see what the real world looked like. Like I was like, hey, let me learn from a big company, and that way, as we grow this thing, I can help. So I was working at Cvent, but I was also always still helping with this company as well. And then after Cvent went public, and I'd kind of hit my ceiling there, Zeb was like, hey, I think it's really ready for you to come down here and be full time. We're making a good amount of money at this agency. So I moved down from DC to Charlotte, and we really built this social media agency, and it was doing really well. Okay. And one day Zeb had a near-death experience, and after that he came to me, and he was just like, I don't want to be this guy growing social media. Like, I want to do something way bigger in the world. I want to fix a bigger problem. At the time, he thought that social media was the problem, because people were getting so into likes and comments. So he got a team together. He recruited Alex Yurkowski, who was at IBM at the time. He is now our co-founder and CTO. Okay. We recruited Wes, who's really good in operations, and us four went on a mission to create this app called Memory, which was a Snapchat competitor. It had no likes, none of that. It more just focused on your memories. It made your memories beautiful. Okay. And, really looked like, we moved from Charlotte to Palo Alto, California. And our goal was that Memory was going to be the next big thing. And that's what we thought. And we put a lot of money and a lot of time in it. And we had a lot of amazing press at the beginning. And it really looked like we were onto something until Snapchat came out with Snapchat Memories. And all that was gone. We lost everything. So we had to pivot. So ClickUp was really a pivot, and we had built this system, but just for us, because Zeb was highly frustrated when people would come to us like, oh, I use Trello or I use Asana, and we had to keep making all these different logins and accounts. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to build our own. I just want one central place. I'm not logging in over and over. So we built ClickUp earlier, Alex did, and it was really just an area where just kind of a rough, raw area for us to create tasks and things. And some of our advisors at the time, we were living in Palo Alto. We had really amazing neighbors. CTO of Facebook lived here, CEO of Intel. We lived on like a very prominent street in Palo Alto, and we lived and worked out of a house, very Silicon Valley style. And, we asked them for advice, and they were like, I think you should go to war with this project management tool you have, because no one we know is very happy with project management. No one loves their tool. And so we're like, yeah, they make a good point. So we started building, and, I remember sale after sale was our first sales rep, kind of one of our main customer service guys. And as we were building this tool, I was just trying to get someone to pay for it. We were excited to get people using it, but I was really trying to get someone to pay for it. And, I remember getting our first customer, Perry Worth. I'm still friends with him. Took him to a Packers game this year. Nice. And, he was the first guy to pay for us. And I remember being so excited because I'm in that house in Palo Alto. I'm getting no after no after no. And finally, someone's like, hey, look, obviously there's tools farther along than you, but you're releasing features every single week. The tool looks very flexible. Like, I see where you're going. I'm going to pay. I'm going to become a paying customer. And I didn't even know how to take his payment at the time. We didn't have a system for that. But, we celebrated that, and then we kind of continued to grow. And I think we really another differentiator for us is that we listen to the customer so much. We sent out these like 1 or 2 question surveys, asking questions of things we really wanted to know, because we wanted people to understand, like, hey, we're not sending you a long, boring survey. We're sending you like just 2 quick questions that we direly want to know what you people care about, and they would always answer. And so we kind of let them guide our tool and what we build and what we focused on. So it was a really cool journey. And then obviously we grew from Palo Alto to we got to about 20 or 30 employees, moved to San Francisco, and continue to grow. And now we're in San Diego, and we have a lot more employees now.
Wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing. How many people are at ClickUp right now?
Oh man, 900 plus, I guess, somewhere around there.
And how would you describe your culture?
Culture's great. Our culture's very, we're not looking just like on your degree and things like that. We just hire people who solve problems. That's really what we do. We find people are good at solving problems because if you have that skill of figuring something out on your own, one, you're going to save your manager time. Two, solving problems is really what the name of the game is, right? So it doesn't matter if you solve different types of problems. You can learn to solve ours. So that's really what we do. We hire really good people, really high energy, positive, and I think it's why our culture is so good. Like even if I don't know someone in Slack and I need to hit them up, or if I'm meeting someone at the office and I don't know them, I still know they're going to be extremely positive. They're going to help me with their problem.
It's easy to connect.
It's a really cool place to work. Yeah.
Amazing. And what was your latest funding round?
Last funding round was a Series C. We raised $400 million at a $4 billion valuation.
Amazing. Okay. And I'd love to know, after your first customers, how did you continue to acquire customers? What is the successful strategy then?
We chose the PLG strategy. So we, rather than we didn't even have much sales. I mean, I was the only sales rep, and that was just the guy you could talk to. We let people find us through an amazing product, through our blogs, through, ads and social and things like that. We were very aggressive. We did a lot of cool different things to get clients in the early days. We would be all over Reddit, Quora. We had a tool that we built called AppGator that would pull together reviews of other competitors. And if we saw someone leave a bad review, we would try and reach out to them and say, hey, look, I get why you don't like X tool. We didn't like it either, and that's why we built our own. Give us a shot. Try it. We'll give you ClickUp, our package for free. And that really worked. We were very, very aggressive at that. And we were releasing features just so fast that people were kind of like, wow, what kind of dev team are they? We were just very aggressive and very strong on that. So I think we just continue to acquire customers by staying true to PLG, by letting the product lead everything. And obviously, we have more sales reps and stuff now, but we still focus more on having people come in and find us.
So this is also the main thing today that works.
It is for us and for a lot of companies, I think.
Amazing.
But some people go more with a sales heavy strategy. Yeah. That's a strategy too.
Of course. And how important do you think was the dev team for you? Because it helped you differentiate so much.
I mean, they were everything. And I think having Zeb's guidance on product and Alex, guide for speed and for everything else was really how we were able to stand out. I think a lot of people had to adapt when we came in the scene. We got very popular very fast because we were so customizable. Now other tools are becoming more customizable rather than just making their people work a certain way. But our dev team was huge. They always have been. We have some crazy rock star, developers that changed the game for us that are really what we call 20x developers because they can do the work of like 20 people. If you find a good marketer, sure, they might could do 2x, or maybe 3x for a good customer service rep. But for a good developer, it can be like 20, 25x. And that is why we're so keen to take our time. And we even have special tests set up to make sure we get the right developers in there.
Well, do you have some advice for hiring? Some key learnings that you got from your experience?
Yeah, so I don't hire the dev team as much, but I know that you should create something that shows you how they think, because anyone can do the regular things here and there. But if you create, a test on the interview, I don't give this out, but I know that Zeb has created this test that really allows them to tell if someone thinks differently and how they code if they pay attention to the details. So I think those are two very important things. What I've learned from hiring is to really challenge someone and ask what they've done. Like what's the hardest thing they've ever done? Don't ask them the same questions as everyone else. Like really get to the core of this person, find out what they've been through, find out a struggle they had that they successfully, beat, because that's what really matters. At the end of the day, like when work gets hard, you want someone who's going to be who's been through something, not someone who's just been kind of handed everything and hasn't really had to work hard. Because someone who's going to dive in and tackle a problem and care about it as their own will always perform better.
I love that mindset, and they have to have a good personality and also a strong mindset. So
they do. Yeah, you look for those things as well. Really feel at the core if they're going to dive in and and care about your product and your dream.
I love that. I love that. And can you also share some challenges that you had throughout the years or any mistakes, learnings?
Sure. I think a couple mistakes. Early on, you got to be really, really careful who you hire. You got to hire people with your dream and mission. And I think we learned that just because someone's from a large company doesn't mean they're going to come in and do great at your role. If anything, they might do worse because, things kind of slow down when a company gets to that size. So I think you really need to find what you're looking for at that time. And if you're looking for growth and scrappiness, you might be better off hiring from someone who was at a 6 or 7 person company who really had to wear a lot of hats because they're going to come in and they're going to work very hard.
Yes.
What else would I say? I think, hiring is a big one. I think always being scrappy is something that's big. Like I always want to make sure we never lose that because that has been such a core of our company is being scrappy, really, really working hard, trying to go above and beyond, doing more than we should be able to do.
To be okay with mistakes, you mean?
What's that?
To be okay with making mistakes. To don't have
exactly,
that fear.
exactly. They're going to happen. Mistakes are fine. It's how you react to them. It's how you adjust is the big thing there. So I think, and I think always realizing that problems are always going to be there. Like we made the mistake of thinking, and once we get funding, we'll hire more people and things will be easy. But that's not the case. There's more problems then. So I think learning to love your problems is one of the biggest things. A big mistake we made earlier was, there's a problem. Like, how are we going to figure this out? But as we went through so many things and navigated, you just learned that problems are there, and you have to learn to love your problems and be excited because the more you solve these problems, the more you will be beating your competitors. So that's one of the biggest pieces of advice I think I can ever give.
Right, and if you see problems at problems, not opportunities, you'll also get sad every time when new problems appear, and
if you change your mindset, it'll help a ton.
I love that. Okay, and I'd love to know the future vision for ClickUp.
We have 3.0 rolling out on the 16th of November, so we're very excited for that. And the vision for us has stayed the same. It's always been to make people more productive, to make work cool, to make it enjoyable to come in and to know where all your work is and to move forward. So I think we're just taking more steps to get there. 3.0 is the next step in that journey. Revamping how things look, making things easier to find, making things easier to search and connecting to more of your other tools, being able to really see what other people are working on, like manage your people really well. We think that's very important too. So the next vision for us is not only understanding what you're working on, but what everyone else is working on, and be able to do it in such a clean, easy way.
Nice. And more on the personal side, I'd love to know how you started your career right after college. So what is your personal journey?
Yeah. So I graduated Virginia Tech in 2012, and I went to work at Cvent at first. I double majored in marketing and business management, got a minor in psychology, and global business. And I think that I always knew I wanted to be in business, but I didn't know what part. So I just kind of jumped into a corporate job at Cvent because I knew they were growing, and I wanted to see what a growing company would look like. I felt like I was still there early enough to feel that. So I started in sales, moved over to sales management there, and became a very, very young manager there at Cvent and managed a team. Even worked in their India office for a while. Amazing experience, great growth, and saw a lot with that company. Then went to work for Zeb from then on out, and I worked at that agency with him. Grew that. We were doing really well. We grew that team to a good size, and we kind of took a lot of the money we made from that to jump into memory, which failed, but was an amazing learning lesson. And then on to ClickUp. So my career was basically I jumped right into tech and sales and marketing. And at ClickUp, I was our first sales rep. I did sales and customer service and a little marketing. As we grew, I knew we needed to hire someone had been in a company of this size wanting to grow to where we were. So I realized that sales wasn't really my love. I'm a great talker and I could do it, but I wasn't really passionate. I was more passionate on the marketing side.
Yes.
I love creating content and doing other cool things for ClickUp. And I felt like I could bring us more customers by doing that. So I've shifted more into that role. I focus more on marketing and social media. That's what I love to do. That's my passion. A lot of my day to day now is, doing podcasts like this, creating content for ClickUp, building different machines that still drive traffic to us. I always want to be driving traffic. So I think that's a big thing as well. That's kind of where I came from, where I am now. And now my my goal is to become a thought leader in this space. I think I've challenged a lot of the ways of tech marketing. I think in the early days, there wasn't much influencers in tech, and we really had success with that and are continuing to do so. I think there's also, more growth hacking ways that I love to get into, and I love to be in that community. So look for me to continue to grow as someone in social media. I still think I'm learning every day. I still have time blocked off my calendar to study this craft and become better at it.
That's great. You probably have one of the best jobs in the world with what you do.
I love it. I think it's very fun. I got lucky. I feel like I created this. I manifested this.
Nice. Happy for you. And how big is the marketing team at ClickUp, or the team that you manage?
Our entire marketing team is probably like 140 or so, somewhere around there, I think. But my team on social is more like 15.
So you manage just the social media team?
Yep, it's social media marketing, so it's a little more than just social. We also have people who are, we have creative who are creating for it. We also have kind of like growth hackers. We have copywriters. So it's a good little mix.
And you also manage influencer marketing in the past?
Yes, that was a big part of my
experience?
life. I love influencer marketing. I think it's here to stay. People can love it or hate it, but we are on our phones and social all the time. We don't watch commercials or anything else. I mean, influence marketing is a major play, but there's just a very different way to do it. I think is important. I think people need to learn that it's got to be genuine. It's got to be real. You can't just pay someone to start talking about your product anymore. You have to, like, especially in tech, you need to give them your product. Let them learn your product. Let them find where it helps them. Don't just give them bullet points and tell them things. Because people can really feel the lack of authenticity if it's not there, but they can also relate when it is there.
Yeah. And you can also incentivize your best customers to be your, let's say, influencers.
Exactly, which is an amazing part for us. Customer stories are an unreal part, especially when a customer is someone of influence, even better.
But do you think that influencer marketing also works in B2B, or it's starting to work in B2B?
I do. And the reason being is, B2B has changed. It used to be in the past that like when you were looking at a software, you were going to get on the phone with someone, they were going to walk you through, and and that's very rare to do that as much anymore. It happens, but a lot of times you just want to play with the software yourself. So the way people hear about it is more, everyone learns from someone on the internet. So to me, those thought leaders are the ones I want representing our brand, because when they're teaching whatever it is they are, and if they bring up ClickUp, great, people are going to try it out. And that's really how most people decide if they want a product or not. They don't talk to like 30 sales reps anymore and then make a decision. Right. They play around with 29, 28, and then talk to 2 sales reps and see where they can get to.
Absolutely. And do you have any piece of advice for starting a teenager or somebody right after college looking to get into marketing?
Yeah, I would say one, just dive in. Like find somewhere you can help, because the beauty of marketing is it's different from coding. Like in coding, you really need to understand code before you get in, right? So you start as like a bug tester or something like that. In marketing, I think you need to find something you can have value at, which you can. Like maybe it could be writing copy, it could be learning ads. You can sit on YouTube or whatever, you can find a course, but find something that's valuable in marketing. There's only but so many parts now. There's running ads, there's copy, there's creative, there's really just a few main parts. So I think learn basics of the parts, take your time to understand each side of it so you can at least do low-level tasks in those, and then just start diving in, because marketing is a lot about creativity, and you don't know what you can do until you start applying. So I think reaching out and saying, hey, look, at the beginning, helping someone for free, I can't underestimate that enough. Like when I was younger in my career, I was always trying to help and add value to people, and that's how I met so many friends. Like I got really good at one skill with our agency, and so I started doing that for free for people who I thought could add value to me later on. And so many people are too much, I need to be paid for my worth. I get that, but you need to earn that.
Of course.
So if you're early on, you should go do something free. And it's the best experience you can ever get. And then you get these case studies, you get, real life experience. So I would dive in.
Would it be an option to also get hired at a company to work in marketing for a few months to see exactly how it works?
You can definitely do that. You can obviously get hired too, but sometimes you might need to get a little experience, to get hired.
Okay,
so I think it's a mix, but of course if you can, that's the ideal goal. Internships are great. There's also apprenticeships and things like that you can do. Like in the early days of ClickUp, we were really trying to find employees, so we were paying like lower, but still giving you like make sure you had a place to live and things like that. So we had a lot of apprentices early on. and they were learning a ton. They were in with ClickUp early, so I think that was a cool way for you might not get paid as much as a full-time salary, but you get paid and you get unreal experience.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. And do you have any advice for starting founders? You also have a founding experience, even if you don't say you're the co-founder, I consider you as a co-founder because you're there from the beginning.
I mean, I've watched it all, so I think it's very important choosing your team. Like, make sure people are going to dive in with you. They see the mission, because we worked insane hours. Like, no one will ever believe the hours we put in, except us. And we all knew, there are other people who had more options to be on this journey, but they knew, Zeb was very upfront with the hours and how hard the work would be, and they chose not to. And I can't say I blame them. It's tough work. I knew I wanted to be a part of this mission, and I knew I wanted to fully dive in. I was ready to, up-level myself as much as I needed to and give up whatever I needed to for the mission. But choose people very early on that are ready to dive in and really work hard. Find people who are scrappy. Find people who are going to, really, really wear different hats and become a master of their craft, because it's easier said than done. You really have to study a lot. So, and you're working that many hours, it's hard to still study, but we were doing book reports every single week, even while we were working that hard. So it was like 4 of us were reading 4 books every week, because we were all, talking about the main points.
Wow.
Something else I would say is to always, again, as you're hiring, be very strong on that. And always pay attention to numbers and to feedback from your customers. You got to love your customers, not just get to know them, like love them, especially early on, because they really dictate where you're going to go and how you're going to get more of them.
And if you don't mind me asking, you also had a period that you quit ClickUp and then you got back, from my understanding, or?
Yes, what I did was I just took a break from sales. We were becoming a big company in sales, and I knew that I was like, hey, I don't know, I want to figure out what my role is in this company. I want to go learn marketing, and I wanted to also explore a different city. I didn't like living in San Francisco. Mm. So I just told Zeb, hey, look, give me a year to go to LA and learn marketing. So I went to work for one of the largest agencies in LA. I ran business development for them. Met so many connections, experience. It was an awesome time. And and I did that for a little bit. And then as the company moved to San Diego, I came back full time, and it was a great learning experience. I worked under Dan Fleischman, who's a pretty well-known guy in the space, and I met so many entrepreneurs, so many unreal connections. And what that set up for me was unreal. So, great time, and great way for me to come back into marketing, because at the time we didn't have a marketing team really, and I didn't have anyone to learn from. So I wanted to go learn from the best.
But was this a planned thing, just to quit and come back after some time?
Yeah, it was a planned thing.
Okay,
it was a planned thing to come back. Wow. Yeah, wow. I just wanted to leave. I wouldn't really call it quitting. I was still helping on the side and things. Yeah. I just wanted to leave where we're at in San Francisco and pass on my role to someone who's experienced and done it before and could really grow that next level sales team we needed. And I wanted to go learn marketing, because even though I was just doing it for us, I never really fully learned marketing. So I wanted to go learn. And what better way than to go work at an agency, working with major brands, so I could learn how they were running their marketing.
Wow. This is so cool. I haven't thought about it, but it's a good strategy. And the level of trust, I think it's amazing, because they could have thought you're just saying this just to leave early, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I put in so many hours too. Yeah. The early days ClickUp was rough, so that was good for me to take like a switch, learn. Obviously, it was the agency role was much easier than what I was doing at tech. So it's kind of good to breathe for a year and come back ready, refreshed, ready to dive back in, because we got a long mission. So I'm ready to be a part of it.
Nice. And I have one last question for you, which I typically ask all my guests. What's your favorite SaaS product that you use apart from ClickUp?
My favorite what? Sorry, software.
Software product that you use. Any software product that you use apart from ClickUp?
Let me think. A new one I really like is Reclaim AI. Really cool.
What is that?
What Reclaim does is basically get your time back. So it syncs with your calendar, and it uses AI to find. You say, hey, like this week I need to spend X amount of hours on these 5 things. Yeah. It automatically finds time for you, and it buys time after your calls and blocks. It's a really cool new software I'm loving.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Is there anything else that you want to mention on today's podcast?
I think we've covered a lot of the main things. Being scrappy, really not being afraid to try new things. I think understanding the work, if you want to come in and you want to build something that's going to change people's lives and become a different product, you really better be ready to give up some time. Like you really better, because I just don't see how it's possible without putting in that kind of work. The same way we did, but it does pay off. I can say that it fully does pay off. And but the last thing I would say is to enjoy the journey. It's easy to just start making it become a grind and, almost get burnt out a little bit. I think we all did in the early days when we worked that hard. So make sure you do find some time for you. I don't know if we did the best job. I think we were very, very focused on this mission. So hopefully you can do better if you're diving into something this intense.
I love that mindset. Thank you so much for joining. You did fantastic, and I'm grateful.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.